First of all, the great news, Li Ziqi is back, and soon we can enjoy her magic again. Big year, ni hao, and hello from the wonderful Wuxi city in China. This video tells the incredible life story of Li Ziqi. Learn about her extremely unfortunate and hard childhood and youth, hopelessness, how she against all odds became a multimillionaire and superstar with a simple but genius concept, why she then suddenly mysteriously disappeared on the height of her success more than 2 years ago, about her surprising announcement of comeback now and what we can expect from her for the future. If you don't know her, millions of fans subscribe to her videos of simple rural life. She made beautiful, heartwarming, slow-paced videos about an all-in traditional lifestyle with farming, cooking, building and handcrafting things deep in China's idyllic countryside. But her life is by far not as harmonic and easy as shown in her videos. Get ready for the surprising, touching and eye-opening real-life fairy tale of Li Ziqi's life. Imagine you became the most successful Chinese YouTuber of all times. In 2021, you had 14 million international subscribers on YouTube, 3.5 million followers on Facebook from all over the world, and 26 million followers on China's Sina Weibo. Besides that, in 2020 alone, products with your name brand for 1.6 billion Chinese yuan, that are 250 million US dollars, were sold. Could you imagine to then just walk away from this without any notice? No, you couldn't, right? Well, me neither. But that is exactly what happened. Li Ziqi suddenly disappeared mysteriously from the internet for more than 2 years, leaving everyone puzzled and especially her fans really worried behind, without any explanation. But let's start from the beginning for a better understanding. Li was born on 6th of July 1990 in rural Sichuan, China, originally under the name Li Jiajia. Unfortunately, her parents divorced during her early childhood, and as if this is not already enough trouble for the poor child, her father died soon after, and according to her, her new stepmother mistreated her very violently. More or less to her luck, she could finally live with her grandparents. This was on one hand still very unlucky, as the grandparents were very poor villagers living in an undeveloped rural area, and life was very hard for Li Ziqi, as from very young age on she had to help with a lot of work and household chores. After all, her grandparents were not young anymore. On the other hand, she was in that way able to escape from her stepmother's violence against her and learned a lot of work skills which later would be the base for her fantastic success. Especially her grandfather teaching her cooking famous Chinese foods in traditional ways was contributing largely to that. Growing up in this remote rural community, she was all too familiar with farming, the surrounding nature and its beauty, as well as doing own craftsmanships wherever necessary. After all, the villagers had no money to pay workers. Whatever needs to be done depends on your own skills, and often on the community to work together on bigger projects, or at least to help and support each other. So spending her youth there and integrate herself into a self-reliant small community lays the foundation for her future path. Yes, it was a really poor, simple life with hardships, lacking the comfort and luxury which city life brings often with it, but that was okay for her and made her really happy to live this life. But then bad fate struck this small family again, as her grandfather, who was quite ill for some years, suddenly died, leaving behind her grandmother and herself even more poor as his income vanished. At that time, she was just in the 5th grade and had from now on even more to support her grandmother by helping and working in the household. For some while, they still managed to stay afloat with this kind of life, although they could hardly afford it. But finally, when Li Ziqi was just 14 years old, her granny could by no means anymore pay for Li's school tuition, and she dropped out of school. It must have been devastating for both, because also in China China, basically education is the key to success. Getting just so little education will make it mostly impossible to find any well-paid or skill-demanding job with career chances. All she could do now was to leave the small village where she really felt at home but couldn't find any paid work. And as so many other mostly uneducated countryside folks, try to find temporary, seasonal or long hours skilled laborers jobs in some bigger cities. After all, it was 2004 and lots of people from countryside flocked into cities to find mostly poorly paid, underqualified jobs, as this offered them a good base to improve their lives. Remarkable is that lots of these villagers worked often 12 hours work days with just having 1 or 2 days per month for rest. But still, for planting and harvesting season, which is in many regions after Spring Festival and around Mid-Autumn Festival, often traveled home for thousands of kilometers to support their families with farming, by then basically also working day and night. Besides, they often didn't see their family members more often than 2 times a year, which I feel really hard. So Li Ziqi went to the city, worked as a waitress, a singer, a DJ, and who knows what else. And all probably in more or less abusive employments. And one reason for that is, for example, that she for years to come did not reach the legal age for working yet. And another reason is that at that time so many unskilled laborers flocked into the cities, accepting very low pay and very bad accommodation without any social security, that every one of them was easy and at any time replaceable. For lots of people, the situation of too less education, the urgent need to always continue to earn money without being able to take a time out or having the money for further education or qualification, constructed a kind of hopeless situation without the chance to ever improve life. So many villagers did this kind of unqualified to maximum semi-qualified work for decades, often until they retired and went finally back to countryside to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Some countryside girls found some economical, better situated husbands from the local city population, which enabled them to move fully to the city, but very often that proved very difficult to do, as often people from bigger cities really looked down on villagers. Anyway, both options were not for Li Ziqi. She learned how important money was, did sure not want to depend insecurely on the mercy of a husband from the city, too well knowing that this too often goes wrong, and that working forever in unskilled laborer positions will never stop her financial worries. Besides, she loved her life in countryside. City life is not really what she wanted. So she saved from her small salaries whatever she could and hoped for a better future. One day, who knows, she had ideas but no real plan. Then back in 2012, her beloved grandma got really ill and needed her care. So she stopped working in the city and went back to the village of her grandparents again. As she could there only live from her hard-earned savings, so she consequently tried to sell clothes, farmer produce and farm-made products using Taobao, the Chinese internet sales platform comparable with eBay. Unfortunately, the competition on Taobao is unbelievably fierce, and one can only generate some sales by being outstanding and somehow remarkable. To promote sales, she took countryside life videos showing where her produce came from and how the farm products were made. But the bad quality of the videos just shot by smartphone did not bring the success she hoped for. So she asked her uncle, who produced videos for the social media platform Meipai and was able to get some views and followers there, which she wanted as well. And he told her to buy a DSLR camera, which she fortunately did, and she also bought a tripod as well. Her videos got better and better, but still did not get much resonance from the audience, and she still had no business success with what she was doing. And she was almost about to give up again. Fortunately, right about this time in 2017, Mr. Liu, CEO of Hangzhou Weinian Brand Management Corporation, watched one of her videos and saw her potential. Weinian Company company is a multi-channel network, MCN, a company that helps influencers and content creators to get more reach, corporations, and so on. And for this reason, lots of influencers team up with such companies for mutual benefit. But Li Ziqi first refused his initial offer, and despite not being successful, seemed to be really not interested. But he didn't give up and traveled to her after she refused his offer, and finally she signed a contract with him. Consequently, both started to work very hard for the success. Li worked very hard for her videos, and Vanian promoted her heavily on Weibo, a kind of Chinese Twitter, Batong X, and the fan base grew enormously. Both parties gave their best, as that success was why they worked together and profited both equally. Or didn't they? Vanian and her founded still in 2017 a company named Sichuan Ziqi Cultural Communication Company, a limited company owning all rights on her name brand, videos and basically everything else made by her. It is not clear why she only held 49 but Vanian 51% of the company shares, but maybe Mr. Liu persuaded her that she in such way didn't need to care for management and has no risk and so on. So never mind. Basically, Vanian could now alone decide to do whatever they wanted with her name brand, as they were the bigger shareholder. And oh boy, they did. Her videos got more and more success, and she was completely absorbed in working very hard for ever new captivating beautiful videos. There was no time for her to think carefully about financial arrangements or any other business activities. So she trusted Mr. Liu to do the right things and left the full control to him. Besides, her personal trouble soon escalated. Then in 2017, haters and trolls made her almost quit everything by terrorizing and harassing her not only in the internet but even in their village by drones, cameras and listening devices, always claiming that she would lie and in reality work with a big team. A link to a video with a very long letter from Li Ziqi is below in the description and pinned in the comments of this video. Unfortunately, this letter is too long and detailed to include into this video, but it gives deep insights in Li Ziqi's thinking and life at that time, including a detailed description how she made her videos. Link to this extraordinary document in the description. It's worth it. Police couldn't help her against these hater attacks. Her friends and even her grandmother suffered from it, and all that made her decide to first of all stop it all. But as this was basically her one and only chance to make good money as an uneducated villager, and she really liked to make these videos, she employed a videographer and an assistant and continued making videos. From then on, better ignoring haters and trolls. Phew, lucky, she continued. And the great success continued. By the help of a Malaysian media company, Vanian now also published her videos on YouTube, which quickly generated a huge international fan base in the millions. Huge success in PR and monetarily. Guinness Book of Records was also consequent. She was the most successful Chinese YouTuber ever. And you probably know her videos from there. Good old YouTube. In early 2018, Vanian also used their exclusive right on Li Ziqi's name to open a second company, mainly to sell food, clothes, kitchenware and others in her name. Huge success was created with the selling of products carrying her brand name. Billions of Chinese yuan. Alone in 2020, over 250 million US dollars. But there was a small problem which should finally break it all. Li was not shareholder. She didn't own anything in this second company. Nothing. Nada. Niente. All these millions of dollars didn't belong to her. Now, having no ownership at all and also no saying in what should happen, but this company being just successful because using her name rights, which technically also did not belong to her, but everything being in the hands of Vanian company. And on top, there were upcoming quality problems, probably unethical profit gains, and very understandingly, all that made her feel very heavily betrayed and abused abused again. On top, she still had big trouble with haters invading her privacy and people accusing her to be only a tool to spread China's propaganda, which is totally ridiculous as she almost never spoke in her videos. And if she did, then mostly just some lovely words with her grandma. So one side accused her to work for the Chinese government and being not real, just a tool for diplomatic soft power, while other people in China accused her to abuse China by making money from showing undeveloped, poor, long past life instead of modern developed city life. So you see the controversy. It all got too much for her. The busy, restless work for hours without end, producing videos, the pressure from haters, and the feelings that most Lithuanian betrayed and abused her and stole her money. So she stopped producing videos, went basically on strike, vanished from public life and started a legal battle with Vanian by suing them. But why did she not tell her fans or even involve them in everything that happened in the following long break? First of all, although she's a public figure, she is a really private person concerning her real life. Maybe it's difficult to understand, but please be aware that the shown idyllic countryside life in her videos is as romanticized and staged from the most beautiful angle as it's partly true. But fact is that it's not her real life, but an actor role. Nobody lives exactly like that, as beautiful as it would be, but it's a kind of a fairy tale, although showing lots of true and similar things which are really happening in countryside life, although not so idealized as in her videos. Sorry if I destroyed illusions, but reality is that it's not easy, enjoyable fun, but unbelievable hard work of days and weeks just to produce a few minutes of video in the best beautiful scenes to please everybody with idyllic, simple village life ASMR, a wonderful atmosphere in beautiful natural places, just at the time of right light and weather and so on. It's hard work. She did that for two reasons. Most importantly, for financial gain. And secondly, to show the wonderful countryside life, as some city children already think rice grows on trees. No, rice is not growing on trees. And lost the contact to nature and simple life completely. So she enjoys if she can reactivate this good feeling for that lifestyle in the viewers again and entertain everyone with that as well. But she doesn't think that she owes anything to the audience, and especially not owes to reveal her private life or business details to the viewers. Most important for her was to get her money back, which Vanian and her partners, in her opinion, took from her by cheating her. After all, according to Chinese internet sources, she had only received 40 million RMB from the merch sales yet, which would be a really tiny percentage of the overall profit. Published by Chinese internet news was as well that after suing each other multiple times, she finally found an agreement with Vanian company by intermediation of a court, and finally got 99% of the entertainment company in 2022. But still, the only life sign since a short post about starting to sue Vanian from 2 years before was a short video message where she wished a happy Chinese New Year beginning of 2023. And although everybody thought after finishing the legal battle and enjoying some time off, she would return to producing videos, another long media break till 15th of September occurred instead of posting the long-awaited idyllic countryside lifestyle videos again. And this time it's different, much different to the messages before. On September the 15th, Li returned to social media in a video shared by China Financial and Economic News. In this video, she introduced herself as an ambassador for the China Association of Young Rural Entrepreneurial Leaders. This non-profit organization, established by the Communist Youth League in 1988 aims to promote business initiatives in rural China. Although Li didn't disclose her activities over the past 2 years, she hinted at something new in the works. She pledged to create high-quality content that spreads the traditions of Chinese farming culture and shares stories of rural China in her unique style. Li's return promises exciting developments for the followers, but in my opinion, it's not very likely that she will continue exactly in the same way as she stopped some 2 years ago. First of all, the video was not published on one of her own channels, but one day after the news channel posted it, it was as well published on the Weibo channel of the newly founded youth movement to revitalize the countryside, which strongly supports the government doctrine that countryside needs to get more attractive for young people again, especially for young entrepreneurs and active innovative farmers. It is undoubtedly still her plan to promote simple natural life in countryside, but it is most likely that the approach this time will be different to before. In her previously dominated video topic niche, strong competitors and countless copycats emerged during her 2 years of inactivity, and many fans have possibly turned away from her for this reason as well. Besides that, the food and merch business surrounding her name would also probably never be as successful as before after having these quality issues, selling low quality, obviously too expensive to make more profit, and finally the name giver disappearing for an extended period of time. Probably no way to reanimate that. Also, the haters were right now super active again as soon as she appeared recently on camera, accusing her of having beauty surgery during her absence, working now directly for the government, and many bad-mouthing more. So I wish her all the best and a lot of success, power and luck for her future. I will also not be angry if she doesn't want to return to public audiences anymore and just does her thing. After all of her turbulent life in the past with all the highs and lows, I wish her being able to enjoy such kind of beautiful, peaceful countryside life with her family, and who knows, maybe she can from time to time open her camera and share a glimpse of this fairy tale life with us. If you are interested in more detailed information and eye-opening insights into Li Ziqi's world of thoughts and learn about her reasons why she almost gave up before her videos even arrived on YouTube, please find the link to this unbelievable letter on video, which I found on Baidu as a download, in the pinned comments and in the description below this video. As this channel is still so tiny, please also subscribe to Lauma in China. If you liked this video, you would help me a great deal to continue making videos about China. Thanks for watching. Bye bye and 再见, your Lauma.